Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
I see your Spanish is getting much better.
It just that's that's all. I can speak more. That's great. Like your setup is just hammersome.
Oh, thank you. I'm recording today, so that's why I'm here now.
Like in your room you have two. Like in your place you have like two office.
Yeah, so the studio is this one, and my husband uses it to record, and I use it to record, and then we each have like our day-to-day office meeting space.
Wow, that's incredible to have this kind of things home. A studio at
It
home.
is, it is.
Nice.
We're spoiled like that.
Sorry?
I said we are spoiled like that.
Spoiled.
Having Yeah, spoiled kind of like whenever you have the ability to have a lot of things. So we're spoiled to have multiple places to record
Ah, yeah,
and be.
okay, yeah. Nice, nice. What is the video about this today?
I have a podcast. Um, I forgot what it was about. I need to refresh my mind what it was about. It's a podcast that I need to be in, and then Cloud wants me to do a video, so I haven't figured that one yet, but I'm gonna do that.
Nice, Eigencloud. Indeed, indeed. All right, so um, we're gonna wait a bit. I will just put a reminder. Tac, tac, tac. Touk, touk, touk. Alors, Telegram, avec mon accent français. Telegram. Hi everyone. Do you like the French accent? Usually people really like it, but it's like just ugly. When we are talking in English, it's just like wow. We recognize a lot when a French speak literally. Um, so there is no homework anymore.
Is
Uh,
there one after this class?
let me check.
I'm scared.
um, no, it looks okay. Looks okay. So let's see with Pratibha. Tac. Okay. Pratibha, are you there? Um, not yet. Tuk tuk tuk. We are live. Tuk tuk tuk. It's gonna be like an exciting session. It's every time when you see the the final result. I mean, after everything. So yeah. All right. Because like in hackathon, in fact, usually you are starting with the smart contract part, then someone taking care of the front end, and when everything is kinda okay, like chuk, you connect both to have like a full stack application that are working for the judge, but sometimes it's not working for sure. Who will participate into the Halef Hackathon at the end of August? Uh, I saw you, I saw you. And normally, like you can be there at Crescimento because they're gonna have a hub, and also like in other place in South America, they're gonna have like co-working for everyone. Still application are open, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be open until the end anyway. I know them. Um, stack, stack, stack. Let me send to you. Um, so it's. I will encourage you a lot to participate into it. And yeah, like it's the milestone of the of the month. Yes. All right, Pratibha, let me call her. Okay, okay. Um, she's coming. Okay, okay. Um, tomorrow we're gonna have like um how to say that? An open discussion with the LATAM fellow. Um, and some I think will have to get some help. So I'm helping, but my Spanish is not great. So so I think tomorrow I will help for sure. But just if someone can translate what I'm saying, I will be super happy. Um, stuk, stuk, stuk. Okay, so let's see. Normally she's coming. Um, actually, like I like from end of August, then we're gonna really I mean the pack will change a lot. Um, so just to let you know, I will talk briefly about it on on the community call, and then we will do another community call at the beginning of September, and yeah, be consistent. Consistency is the key. All right. Who was Shifa courses? You just finished the Shifa courses, right? Nice, nice.
Actually, I had my water break.
Ah,
Just 2 minutes water break. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays are insane, but
it's
very excited. Yeah.
it's 2 hour session with
Yeah.
Shifa. Wow.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's like too much. Like because it's not technical. Like I mean, here we are putting 2 hours exceptionally for the bootcamp because it's like for going into details, but
Mhm.
otherwise, like 1 hour, it's. it's like a great thing usually.
Yeah, I feel personally like they are really complementary. So if
Yeah.
it was like two technical both, yeah, I don't think it would be possible to bear. But like, since we start the morning like talking about abstracts, concepts in Web3, like today we were talking about DeFi as well. Yeah,
Oh,
uh,
nice. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So we're looking forward for next week. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. All right. So, Pratibha, are you there? And just to let you know before starting, so we will have the graduation ceremony next week. So I think I will do this one during the community call. Um, Having issue with sound. Ah, okay. So just we will wait a bit. Um, so yeah, actually we are defining as a percentage. So first they told me 70, and probably we will just go a little bit down. Um, I'm not sure. I will check. Um, but actually, like more than 50 people, no, 40, 45 people or 46 people are above 70%. So that's pretty good. Congrats. All right. Ah, yes, that's true. You are going to New York. So you will be at the Farcaster meetup as well? Yeah.
I signed in. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if I get there on time. Yeah. But I will arrive just before the forecaster meeting. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So let's
Same
see
day.
then. Yes.
Let's see.
It's quite challenging with like the airport in New York. Yeah. As usual. But enjoy. You will stay how many times there?
Yeah, I will be staying like for a weekend, next weekend, from 14 to 17 of August, for the hackathon, like volunteering there. Yes, thanks to you for all the information. Like I found this amazing opportunity, but then I'm going to Chicago for some
Oh,
time as well. Like, yeah, because like my original reason was to visit a friend who lives in Chicago. That's why I'm going there. Yeah, yeah. And let's see, maybe I also get accepted for the base camp in
yeah.
Vermont because I will be staying until September there. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see.
Probably I will come. Like if I'm accepted, I think it's gonna be okay. But like, I still have to figure out when to take the flight. Um, because like it's going like price as going are going up as crazy every time. So yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, there's something weird with airplane tickets going on. Like I also read like the tariffs might increase like soon. So if you're interested in getting a ticket, do it quickly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. True, true. Last time I was in New York on May. It was for FarCon, like for the like Farcaster gathering, annual gathering. Um, it's like it's quite um exclusive, but like you will have the chance to go next year in at Rome, I guess. It's gonna be there, so pretty nice place. And let's see. Yeah, yeah. Prajiba? Oh, she left. All right. Do you have something that you want to cover during the community call next week? Feel free to let me know right now because most of the active people are here. Or any feedback, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like I talk too much. I don't want to take space from anyone else. But yeah, I would love personally, I would love maybe to talk or like to cover quickly some career maybe tracks, like ideas more or less like including some resources also, like apply to my case. I would be interested, of course, in data, in Web3 data, like related things,
Yeah.
yeah, stuff like this.
Yes. Or regarding career stuff then. All right. For the next steps, yes. In fact, like every every month, I'm doing an update of what's next for the month. So no worries. All good. Um, and yeah, all right. For career, in fact, I have like Sophia. Sophia wanted to do a session about career because she's a specialist on this area. Like she's a HR senior HR recruiter in this space. So last time she provided a lot of good things. So I think it's gonna be great to have her again. And we were supposed to do a session like at the beginning of the July, but in fact I was at ETC and her too. so, so it was a bit complicated, but let me think about that. Sure, it's relevant. And from next week we will start with the DeFi side, uh, because at the end we will have like a DeFi builder club. So everyone interested by this topic will be able to really deep dive into it while working with like the right partners related to DeFi, because the issue every time is like you have a lot of projects into the space, but when you are new, you don't know how to filter them. So sometimes you can just deep dive into one and it's like a wrong one. So that's why I'm kinda like one of the filter to make sure the session will be oriented on the right project, like topic, etc. All right. Mm. She's restarting her machine. All right. Oh, what I just received. Oh my God. Ah, it's from P. That's why.
Ah,
All right. But we will have some tickets with DevTupac too, so no worries. Don't buy a ticket. It's useless. Every time something I'm saying, um, on my side, in 6 year, I almost never pay anything regarding tickets, etc. So be part of the community is like super useful to be fast track, in fact, into different things. So like when I got a call with the ecosystem lead of DevConnect, she directly told me that she will provide tickets for us. I didn't start like talk about it, and she told me, so that's okay. We're gonna have tickets. And by the way, for the fellowship waitlist, there is like more than 300 people for the upcoming one. Two. Which wonderful people. Uh, oh, really? Okay. It was with Scroll, like Open Economy or Lovable.
No, I think it was with members of a Telegram group, and they were just talking, like trash talking and vibe coding, and then making mistakes, and then trying to start over. And I'm there for 2 hours. It's like, oh, I can just do this.
Nice.
I think my first vibe coding session will stay in my memory forever. It was hosted by a friend in his house. Like there is a local expat community in Buenos Aires, so we were like 20 people, and it was late February. So the vibe coding word term was just invented. Like the
Oh,
guy just posted it in Twitter. So basically, we actually vibe coded like a snake game. Yes, with
oh,
Cursor, and he was like mentioning all those. Sorry for this. Yeah, my mom is cooking. Well, he was mentioning all those like names of the platforms and tools, and I didn't have a clue. Like, and it's amazing how far we've gone. Like with this in a few months.
yeah.
Yeah.
In a few months, everything growing. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So what about the DevConnect Scholar program? So actually, they didn't release yet the results, just for a few category, um, but not the builder one yet, because I think it's like the biggest one. I don't know how many people apply, probably 3,000, I don't know. um, and actually, the people in charge of it is like quite busy until 16. So I think it's gonna be like available after 16, but it's my source, my thought. um, yeah, yeah. Um, all right. Pratiba,
Yes, yes.
let's go.
Okay. So, good. It's evening at my end. Good evening, everyone. How has it been? Did anyone try out the Lisk scaffold Lisk to try and run it? Were you trying to finish up on the assignment?
I'm not sure, but they already done something like this last time with Scal for it, so they know how to run it.
Okay. So we'll just jump in right into it, and then we'll move as we go. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so on my side, for those who don't have this, so today we want to be doing slides because it's mostly hands-on. So it won't be a lot of talking, but I expect a lot of engagement because I'll be doing a lot of coding. I might go fast. So if I do go fast, please let me know. If not, we'll be good to go. Okay. So for today, since you're starting on the list scaffold, so this is the repository. It's more of the same as scaffold it. You also consider to have the Node 18.7 version or greater, and then Yarn. So I use mostly Yarn because it's lightweight and it's also faster. So yeah. So after you've cloned it, you have to, just as we communicated in the last session, you have to run yarn chain for you to be able to have a local node on your machine. And then, so I use that command code space dot to open my Visual Studio Code. And yeah, this is how the project looks like. Let me just, yeah. So this is how the project looks like. It has both the contract side and the front end side. So we have Hard Hat is our tool to use in our contract side, and then Next.js for our front end side. So if you just after you've cloned your particular project, you can just run yarn start. I think I just written that badly. Yarn start, and then it will open a localhost on your machine. So I'd run it earlier. So yeah. So just to give you an overview, last time we covered on ethers.js. So also with the scaffold list, ethers is also part of the library that's been used to ensure that the front end and the smart contract are connected properly. The difference with doing ad hat and front end on from scratch and scaffold is easy. You get to spin up smart contracts very fast. You get up to do your front end on real time very fast, and basically I think everybody who's been a web3 developer, they use this for hackathons when you want to code very fast. Yeah. Also the scaffold list, you can also add frameworks. For those who did the last week assignment, you can use a framework like Daisy UI. You can also use Tailwind, SSS, Chakra UI, depending on which one you're using, and you'll also see how we can use. Okay, I think I had some error there. Okay, let's just comment that out. Okay. So just a minute, we comment this out. We'll come to it later. Okay, I think now it's working perfectly. Yeah, so the scaffold list also comes with some contracts that are already written for you. So you can be able to, okay, you can be able to, okay, we're good to go now. So those were like some edits that I was trying to do before the meeting, but now we're good to go. Should be good to go. Okay, just remove the read and the write functions, and then we'll get back to them. Okay. Oh god. Okay. So this is how it looks when you try and run yarn start without anything. So this is just like a plain old website, and as I told you, how you are able to interact with the smart contract. Just think your smart contract as your backend side and your frontend side, and you're trying to interact with the smart contract. Also, the Lisk ecosystem chain using the RPC. So here you can just see we have home, we have a button for debugging contracts, that the contracts have been deployed. So I'll disconnect here so that we see something about the wallets. And then here you can go to the link of obtaining some faucets. If at all your wallet doesn't have some testnet, ETH or something, and then we have the DApp console. Yeah, so basically this is how it looks. Also on our side here, when you go to hard hat, you can be able to see it. It looks plainly or same as when you install hard hat in your project or your directory. Yeah, so here on contracts, you can find one of the contracts, which is buy me a coffee. So this is just the same as the feature that you see in most blogs. Like I think it's not in Medium, but in other blogs, you can see like a small button saying, "Oh, you incentivize the developer for being able to write like a good article." And yeah, so this is like an on-chain aspect of it, whereby you can be able to, incentivize a builder in their particular website by buying them a coffee. So it has like a struct where it stores all the social names and the address of that builder and the username, and then it records the particular person who's been able to connect to that website using an address, a public address, will be the owner, and then the price that you're going to spend on that particular builder when you're trying to buy that coffee. And yeah, it has a lot of functions. We have a buy coffee function, whereby it takes a variables of number of coffees, the username, their Twitter handle of that builder, and the message that maybe you could want them to receive after they've seen the amount of coffee you've bought for them. Yeah, and then this is all about error handling and conditioning, whereby it says if at all the message is smaller than the price or the number of coffees, then it means that you have insufficient funds. And then if not so, then it calls the event of buy me a coffee, taking the sender and the value of the message. Yeah, so that's how it works. So the different contracts here, you can go and check them out. We also have a charity token, or a charity way of people donating in on chain, because it's more transferable. And here we've been able to um, create a token, have a maximum supply of the token. So this, you could say it's more of like a liquidity float of that particular token. So in blockchain, we just call it maximum supply, and it has like a 50 million tokens that are available in the liquidity. And then he has an event whereby you can make a donation which possesses the donor's address, the charity's address, that is the people who you are donating to, the amount, and the tax credit. So the particular token is called Vietnamese dog, with a symbol of VND, just the same way with LISK. It's called LISK, but has a symbol of LSK. And then it's an ERC 20 token, meaning it's able to transact. You can be able to transact that particular token from one person to another, and it's not the same as ERC 721, whereby it's in art form. So for that same reason of this particular token being able to be transferred from one person, that's why we have this function whereby using that token you can send it to another person using their public address and also their amount. Also, you can donate to a charity. The function of donating a charity from this particular event of a donation being made. So the function, if you want maybe to donate to a charity, you have a charity, and then you have the amount. So the other functions are for registering a charity if at all you want to be donated to, and the other one is for calculating the circulating supply that's been happening, and the minting of that particular token, and then the banning of that particular token to create demand of that particular token on this donation platform. So the contract that we are going to concentrate on is this your contract. So we're just going to look on it, and as you can see here, in a front end side or localhost side of our website, you can be able to see the contracts that have been deployed here. Yeah, we have some errors. Okay. Okay, so you can see in your contract here, which is the particular token that I've selected, it has different read and write functions. So as you remember, I told you every time you deploy a contract, these particular functions, they might be having a read function, or it could be like a write function. So a write function, it means it adds data to the smart contract, and a read function, it means that you read data from the smart contract. So this particular contract was your contract. It was deployed under this address. So if you want to check out on the Block Scouts list, you can check it out. And then it has all of these functions. So These read and write functions are the same functions that you should be calling them here on your front end side, whereby now people can be able to interact with your website without them interacting with your contract either on the Block Scout side. Yeah. So for example, here we have, let's check out on this contract. So this contract is supposed to like greet you, like it's a greeting contract whereby it has the owner. So the owner is the person who will connect their wallet here, and then the greeting, after you've greeted that person, you will receive a greeting of building unstoppable apps. So if you see here up here, the owner address was input to be immutable, and then it means that here you also have a boolean variable called premium, and then the counter of greetings, it also records the amount of greetings that you've given out to a particular user, and that's why we have that total counter. So he also has some restrictions whereby the owner has a set of rules whereby the messenger will be the owner. Yeah. And then we have now a function of set greeting, which here, this function of set greeting is the same as this particular front end that you're trying to see on the debugging of the contract. So this particular function of set greeting, it's a write function, meaning you have to have an input form in the side of your front end for the user to input either as a text of them of the greeting, and then that's sent to the particular user that you want the greeting to go to. So this particular function, it takes it keeps memory of the new greeting, and then that greeting is also taken to that center, and every time there's a new greeting, the counter is increased by 1. Yeah. And then this is a fail-safe condition whereby if the message is not greater than 0, then the premium is true, and the other one is false. And then we have another function of withdraw. Yeah, so if you are the owner, you have role, or you have access to withdraw, which is you can be able to send some ether or yeah to a particular address person. Yeah, so that's it. So if we check out on the contract and we try to maybe, let's say, hey, and we have a payable. So okay, so we've not connected our wallet, and that's the reason why you see we can't be able to write on this particular contract. Yeah. So in a scaffold list, how wallets are being connected is we go here, and then we go to our front end. So we are using a particular library that's called Rainbow Kit. Just a minute. Okay. See in the app. Sorry. Yeah. So we are using a particular library that's called Rainbow Kit, and this is mostly used to ensure that when you press a connect wallet, it just doesn't look very smudgy, because most of the times when you're trying to connect a wallet, you just press the button, and then as we did last time, whereby you saw we just have the MetaMask popping up. But using Rainbow Kit, it gives you like components that are very beautifully made. It's like using Tailwind for your CSS, and you just import that particular component if you want to connect to have like a connect button or a connect wallet, and you also have to install Rainbow Kit in your particular project, but I think that's already installed in Scaffold list, so you don't have to worry about that. And yeah, so that's what it's used. In case you want to check out more on Rainbow Kit, you can find it here. Yeah. Yeah, so let's move on. Yeah, so when you press connect wallet, it now pops up the component done by Rainbow Kit, and when you just press MetaMask, it's either going to do a pop up, or for me, it's just going to connect directly because I'd already confirmed this particular local host to this site to be accepted by my particular MetaMask wallet. So if you go to your MetaMask, if at all you are connected to this particular site, you will be able to see like in your connections you're connected to this particular site, and you can either remove or you can let it run so that it automatically always detects your wallet as you move on. So also ensure you have some gas here because while transacting or write into the contract, you'll need some gas to be able to do some of the functions. So when you're trying to, I think the first time when you're trying to do yarn start, the contract wouldn't have been deployed. So if you do want to deploy your particular contract, you can do yarn deploy. But keep in mind that this yarn deploy will only take like the local node of your particular scaffold list. So if you want to either deploy into another network, you just add this variable network options, and then it will populate a list of the available networks that are there, and then you just decide which one you want to deploy it on. So for us, we'll use Sepolia Leaks. So space is the select button, and then you enter, and then it will deploy your particular contract if it doesn't have any errors. So you can also compile your particular contract using yarn compile, and just to check out if your particular contract is also working. So as you can see, all our contracts have been deployed, all of them, and their contract addresses are those as they have been showcased there. Any question on wallets before I move on and we try to see how we can be able to interact with one of the contracts. So other people do use a lot or other frameworks. Um, We have Reown, which people also use as their component to try and implement the Connect wallet. So this particular person who's been able to connect to this particular contract can be able to deploy that particular contract, but is the person who's tracked by this owner address public this particular variable, which is the address and the public of the owner. Yeah. Any questions before I move on? Yeah, so Rainbow Kit is default in the scaffold list, so you don't need to do the installation npm installation command. So what you need is just to have the component there, and then it will run. But in case you face any error, you just install it. But the terminal will let you know. Yeah, okay. So let's try and create a public address of or another owner who is we're going to call the public address title, and that particular person is the one that will ensure that because as you see here, the particular owner that was there was not immutable. It means you couldn't change that particular owner. So that's why we have this address public title. So this you can change this particular owner, meaning that you as a person, even when you go to that site, you can change your wallet and you can disconnect or connect your wallet. So we are going to see on how we can manipulate this title to be able to deploy this particular title in the contract, and also be able to get some data from this particular address. So we are going to start in the side of a smart contract because that's how we start, and then you initialize with that variable, and then since we want to be able to add either functions to this particular address, then we'll have a function, and then that function will just call it set title, which will have a parameter of the title, and we will say that this particular address, we want it to be an owner of that particular site, and every time you connect to that particular website, it represents now the title that we've created here. So the underscore is used for reference purposes. Okay, so let's go now to our front end. Let's deploy our contract to see if it's still working. Okay, let's compile and then deploy it and see if it's working. So it's all good. It's working well. So no errors on the side of the contract, and yeah. So also on the front end side, it's also good. You see, we're trying to debug. Um, so that's in the contract. And you will see that here we've been able to add now our input or another function here, which is the set title function, which will be taking an input of the address or a public address that can be changed every time, and you can like change the title of that particular function every other time. So let's try and see if it's going to work. We'll try and get some public address here. And then it will say awaiting for user confirmation. Okay, have to. Okay, okay, just a minute. Yeah, so you will see it's requesting to interact with the smart contracts that you've deployed and with some gas. Then when you confirm, then that particular transaction is said is not connected, so you have to connect. Yeah, and then you will see that that particular transaction has been able to be completed, and you can see the transaction receipt, which is here, which is these are the logs of that particular transaction with gas status. It went from who to who, and the type of that transaction, and other things. So we can try and now read this particular function, or try to read the title that we've inputted in our contract by trying now to have another function here which it can read from that particular contract. So that we do here, in our smart contract, and we'll say get title, which our title returns a particular that address that we've been able to input in our set title function, and it returns the title. Okay, so every time you make some changes in your smart contract, you have to deploy it. Yeah, and if it deploys successfully, it means your contract is good to go. So now we go back. If we go back to our website, we should be having another read function either above or below the user greeting contract, which should be having like a greet particular get greeting, but I think it's not happening because we've not added it on the front end. So let's try and have it on the front end. So if you come here and look at the docs of scaffold ETH, so the docs of scaffold ETH and scaffold Lisk are more of the same. So if at all there are any components that you do want to add in your front end, or there's any activities or events you want to do in your smart contract, you can use this particular documentation as your guide. So as you can see, as I said before, you can be able to use Daisy UI in your particular front end, and we'll see how it works with the components. So for now, let's try and read the contract. So if you're trying to read the contract, there's this particular function or hook. I can call it a hook, yes, that you can be able now to call your particular contract and call that particular function so that it can be able to retrieve that read or that title that we've set on the set title. So we can just copy this for our example, and then we will change the particular function name and the data, and then we see we can be able to get the get title that we put in our contract. So I just done that. So let's comment that. And then because you're using a particular hook, you remember you have to import that particular hook. And that's it. See, it's bringing some problems. Okay, okay. Okay, I think it's good. So in case of anything, you can just search here and you can be able to see anything that you do want in case of inputs issues. Yeah, so let's see if that will work. So because that smart contract will definitely be giving us data, that's why we have a function here whereby we're trying to store the data, and you're giving that data name current title. The particular contract that we're using is your contract as it was before, and our function name is not user greeting counter. Our function name is get title. So that's what you're going to replace here. And since we don't have any arguments, we're just going to leave it uncommented. And for it to appear on the front end side, we have now to input a paragraph whereby this paragraph, without the styling, you can just input it without the Daisy UI styling and also the scaffold id styling, which you will just see. I think you have an issue with this input. Okay, I think we're good now. Still, okay. So you try and fix this. So here you can use your copilot. This is where vibe coding comes through. And so yeah, we've imported it. I think it's supposed to pick up. Okay, I think now we need to do npm install. Yarn install, that is. Install. And then it's going to install the hooks that are there. Okay, it's still giving us some error. So let's just pray it works. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Saying can't resolve. Okay. Let's try and see our installation. Okay, let's try and no. So I think it's refusing because first of all we are using scaffold it, and I think we should be using scaffold list. Yeah, but I think that's the problem of why it can't be able to read, because these particular hooks sometimes they give problems. But how it's supposed to work is, if at all I run this here, we're supposed to see. Okay, let's see is here. So it's still the same. I don't know why it's refusing. Okay. So I think I'll have to check on that particular hook that we are using. Okay. Okay. I think we are having some issues there with hooks, but essentially, the function name that we are supposed to use is get title, and then the contract name is your contract, and then it's supposed to read using this particular hook from the contract. And after that, here, when you're trying to now display that particular title, that the current title which is has been gotten from this data from your smart contract, it will display in your website. I'll check out on this particular hook. I think we're having some issues with it, and I'll let you know on which particular one to use. Also, the same as the scaffold right contract, you also have to import your particular hook, and because we already have a right function which is a set title here, what you do is, because have it that when you're setting a title you have to input that particular public address, which we've initialized it as title. And then if we do that, you can have input, which that input you can remove it here from components. Okay, so we have an input base, whereby if you copy this particular input and you have it here. And you also come here after the title, you can just have let's say a label there, and you can have these components just the same way as you take some components from the CSS frameworks, like material UI, and have that. And since we need to change the set URL, we need to change the title, you have to have use state here, which it's going to be title, and then set title. And then use state. Yeah, and then that particular value will be replaced by set title. And it will watch over for the title. Yeah, and then you will have your button, which is should be essentially like either your submit button or your set title button, which now changes that particular title every time you submit that particular title. So here we are also going to change the function name to set title, and then this is the title to be set, which represents the value. And since we want to be putting any value as numbers, we'll just have the value as string. And then if at all there will be any error, then it will be catched by the try and catch method. Yeah, any questions? Okay. Yeah, so if you want to see how actually a minute, I think we mistake somewhere. Yeah, we good. So this particular also async await is not working because we have not uncommented this. And if you want to write, then you use this async await, and it's going to write onto our contract name, which is your contract. Yeah, and then this input is going to listen to any change that's going to happen in that input box for any change of title, and then after that, then the button will trigger the sending of that particular title to be changed, and then it will be displayed now using the current title that we read from our smart contract. Any question? Any question? Okay. So if there is no question, so let's try this one more time. It fails, we good to go. Okay, we good. Yeah, let's see if it has worked. Right. So no problem there. Okay. We also need to import this, the right contract assist, async. Just a minute. Just debugging this as we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's try and see if at all, first of all, the title for reading did work, and then we can go back to the reading, the writing, sorry. Yeah. So do that. And yeah, this too. Okay. So as you can, oh my god, we have if we debug a contract and we set our title to a new address, which is a new public address. So we use the one that we used before, and we send with following reason, not the owner. So let's use a different one. So you've seen that if at all you're trying to set a title and you're not the owner of that particular account, then you don't have powers because you've not deployed with this particular contract. Then you don't have the power to read to that particular and write to that particular contract. So you actually send that particular title. It's supposed to initiate a sign-in. And then when that transaction is accepted, then which you've confirmed, then it should agree to write to that particular contract. Yes. And then on the home should be seen a title there. I think you're not seeing it because we have dark background. So you can have a class name here. And yeah, now it's more visible. Yeah. Is this also the same way to pull transaction? Yes, yes, yes. So we're going to see on how transactions are being pulled, and that's the same way. If at all here on your contract and you're trying to send a transaction, you just write a function which I think is more visible here on the charity side, and you have an address to that particular transaction who is going to, and which address is it going to, and then on your front end side now you have inputs whereby the user can now input the address and the amount, and every time they press that particular button you write to your contract that using this particular function of transfer, and then it writes to the contract, and then you can retrieve that particular transfer that has happened. Yeah. Any questions? Okay. So let's move on and see how it can work in a very, very high paced or very a big project. Okay. So this is a particular project that I was working on. So it's a project that whereby you have packages, and you can buy these packages either using M-Pesa, or you can buy these packages using your USDT. So just as any other particular website, you can be able to connect your wallet, and you can also be able to disconnect your particular wallet. So for this particular package, we have different packages. We have for 100 USDT, 500 USDT, and 1000 USDT. So in this particular project also, because we are using USDT, it means that you have to go to the Lisk documentation and see the particular USDT contract that has been deployed on the Lisk network and use that particular USDT. So I'm trying to open that particular project so that you can see the smart contract. Yeah. So here, under tokens on Lisk, you will find the Tether USDT, and this is what you use now to bring up the USDT in your particular contract and be able now to have people transacting either your packages using USDT. Okay, so this is the particular project. So it also has a backend and a front end side. It also has contracts, and yeah, let me close this up. So the particular contract that we have is here. Let me open this very wide so that you can see. And as you can see, this is the particular contract for the USDT. So since USDT is ERC20, definitely you should have a total maximum supply, and you should be able to mint it, and you should also be able to ensure that the person who's minting it is the owner who's connected to that particular website. Yeah. So also here to check out about the tokens. So here how the packages are divided is 30% goes to the treasury, and then 70% goes to a pool. So this is a liquidity pool, the same liquidity pools that happen in Uniswap. I know this is kind of advanced, but we're going to use this site to at least understand how you can be able to create, let's say, a package, or you have something that you're selling, let's say, for because of the last week project you're working on products. So in replacement, you could be having that product with the image, and then the pricing of that product could be 100 USDT. So every time you're trying to purchase that particular product, you can now use either your M-Pesa, or you can use you can pay using USDT. And here, when you connect your wallet and your wallet has this amount of USDT, or the owner who was connected to this has that amount of USDT, then they can be able to buy that particular product. If they don't, then you cannot be able to buy that particular product. So how is that regulated? So you can use modifiers for this, or you can also use an only role, which this is only used to it's a modifier that's used to ensure that the person who does that particular minting has a minter role, or has an access to that particular contract. So on this particular function, you can see if you want to mint now, that's buying in plain terms, it's buying that package. You have to record the address of the person who wants to buy it, the amount, and that amount is also removed from the amount that we've also set up there. And then we have an only role of that person who's also going to, or who has that role of minting, or the person who's in that your case could be owner here. So yeah, could be owner. So it means that that person is the one who has that role of minting. So banning is whereby people send some tokens to an address, and then when it's sent to that particular address, it cannot be used for either staking or any liquidity purposes in that particular ecosystem. So once you ban, you can never access those tokens for either trading purposes or liquidity purposes, or staking, or any of all those activities that tokens do with. So another particular function is called vesting. So vesting is like tokens staking, sorry, whereby you can be able to ensure that your particular users can be able to stake their particular tokens for some time. So the users could be able to stake that particular token for, let's say, 2 years or 3 years. And if at all they do remove those particular tokens before that time, then they lose a percentage of that token, or you can just set the particular penalty that you might have. Okay, so here, as you can see, we have the vesting contract. So also keep in touch that as your contract grows, also divide your contract. I'm sure Netete covered that. So each and every feature or each and every function that you're trying to do, if you're trying to transfer, put it in a different contract. If you're trying to ensure that maybe people are staking that particular token, put it in a different contract. Yeah, so as you can see, we are referring to the USDT token that we do have, and here we have a struct whereby it showcases the duration of that particular token that's going to be staked, and then that is mapped to whereby we showcase the amount of tokens that locked and the amount of token that will be released at a particular time, and the percentage of that particular token when it's released. Yeah, and then we have functions to do all of this, which we have the function for locking that particular token, which the person who's supposed to lock it also should have an access role on that. And every time a user locks, then the amount for total tokens locked is increased. And then every time a user also wants to mint that particular token or claim it, we also have a minting function on that. Yeah, and then we also keep in check of the tokens that have been claimed and the tokens that have been unreleased, because some of the time you find a user might need to release a percentage of that token, and it should most of the times, or how it should be, they shouldn't be able to release, but some contracts, depending on how you've put it, you can be able to release it. So another thing that you might come across is swapping your tokens, and I'm sure you've seen this in most sites also, when you're trying to swap up your token. So just the same as in the contract, as I was saying, in this, if you see in this particular contract, we have a function whereby you can set this is set a bucket. That means that you can be able to set a pool of the amount that you want to swap. So the rates that are used for swapping, they are definitely used from another library, which you can use Uniswap, or you can use PancakeSwap, depending on what you're trying to use. But Uniswap is great. So it looks at the rate of that particular USDT token, or the token that you're trying to swap, and then it compares if the user has either the enough gas to swap, and then if you do have the enough capability of swapping, or if the user just sees they can be able to swap. So you could try to do this, swap from one USDT to either another token, could be LSK, could be another token that has been built by anyone. So it calculates, and then it gives you the amount that will be if at all you swap it, and then if it's good for you, then the user now does the transaction by being able to confirm the transaction. Yeah, so I'm just going to cover up those three, just not for me not to confuse you. And yes, yes, I can send it. Project. It's not a function product yet, but it's a project that I was building on another project. This particular project is built on Base, and yes, 1inch is also used in swapping. Yes, so you can also check out the documentation on it and see how we can be able to integrate it. Maybe later on, maybe we talk with Solin and we see how we can do it. So because of interoperability, I'm also going to showcase to you like another project that I did with Days. And the reason why I'm showcasing to you is it's going part of your assignment, because I want you to transform this particular code or project that I've built on Base to using scaffold Lisk on it, and try to deploy that particular project. Oh, I'm so sorry, Judith, that you're lost. Also, if wherever you are lost, please you can just type that up, and then I'll go back to it. Yes, yes, you're going to mark attendance, and it's going to be live in under 1 minute. 1 minute, 1 second. Yeah, so keep on checking the Google Classroom. Yeah, so go to the other project. Yeah. So I think I did this for hackathon quite a while back. I don't really remember when, but it's supposed to be like your business assistant, whereby it handles your invoicing, your inventory, and your customer service. So at one point I tried to integrate it with Farcaster, but I didn't like finish it up. So yeah. So you're just supposed to connect your wallet, and then it's supposed to let you automate your process of invoicing and inventory tracking, and also customer support. Yeah, so it's more of an AI agent, but just on the side of beginning. So yeah, we can just go through it. So we have a dashboard which has, okay, let me open up the code too. So the essence of me trying to show you this project is at least you have an understanding on how frontend can go to far lengths of also you trying to interact with the smart construct as much as it can be. So and something that I failed to mention. So I wanted to show you this other project. It uses Reown. So the Block Cop project also uses Reown instead of Rainbow Kit. So it doesn't have a lot. Just give me a few minutes. So if we connect this particular site, okay. Just going to take a few minutes and then I'll be back. In the meantime, you can just share where you've gotten lost, and maybe we can do
Allô, allô? Allô? I think everything is bugging, so that's why I cut off my camera, but I don't know. Bonjour! Bonjour, bonjour. Au revoir. Ah merde! Ah, my God.
We almost made it to the end.
Oops. Yeah, you see her? Like you have to catch up her, no?
So far, just messaging on Telegram. And she showed me like a WhatsApp group and stuff. So slowly getting my foot into the Web3 scene. And I have two kids that are taking up all my time. But once I get them sorted, I will definitely dive in to the scene here. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And Bratchka is awesome. No, I mean, I need to ask her what connection she's using because like my connection is so good here, much better than Morocco. Morocco, this was me. I used to come out like 4 or 5 times every session. It was terrible. But
Where
this
it
week,
was in
it's really
Morocco?
good. Casablanca,
Ah, Casablanca.
Casablanca.
It's supposed to be
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
All right. All right, all right.
yeah, yeah. I think it all depends on the provider you're using. Same city, same infrastructure, but just depends on
Yeah,
the provider.
of course.
But yeah, we will wait for her. This is so valuable, so valuable.
On peut parler en français?
Oui, on peut, oui. Mais au Kenya, non, non, non.
C'est pas possible, hein. Mm.
Le français marche pas ici.
Ouais. Mais
Et
like in fact, in Africa, Africa is speaking in French, and then the other part speaking English, right?
I guess, yeah. A lot of, I guess, Western Africa, West and North, minus Ghana and Nigeria,
Yeah.
are mostly, and Sierra Leone, mostly French, yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Tunisia, yes, Dunia,
Oh,
indeed. Um, all right, all right. Yeah, because I'm
she's
thinking,
back.
oui, Dunia, on parle français. C'est cool. Yeah, because like I'm thinking for next year, like to also open the program in French, like for covering France, but also like Africa.
Oui, oui, ça va marcher très bien. Yeah. Because I think a lot of the docs are in English.
Yeah.
This is a big block because yeah, there are some devs, but there's a language barrier.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Every time. Agree with that. All right. Bradiba, are you there? Ah, no. I don't know. Ah, yes, attendance. Indeed, indeed. Let me check the current state of the attendance. Tuk, tuk, tuk. The police was there to put a reminder. um, 16 people click on I'm present. So I will give you just the link to not forget that. Stuk. Tuk, tuk, tuk. By the way, I just put a message on X but I have to check. Mm. So we'll check with Nani to do the video. Surprise video. Tuk tuk tuk. Mm, 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 mm. I think the match, like she's restarting her machine. I think so. Are you planning to go to the It's Safari, Celiana?
Me?
Yeah.
No. No, my August.
Oh, it's in
Again, I know.
September. I think it's in
It's in
September.
September.
Yeah.
I've there's so much information. Honestly, I'm a bit lost. I saw safari, and I'm from Kenya, and whenever I see the word safari, it's so generic and touristy. I don't take it seriously, honestly.
Oh, no,
I
is
think
like the founder of It's Safari. Like, in fact, it's an event in Kenya, and
okay.
just to say, like, it's Kenya, like this.
That's good. Yeah.
And the founder is really great. So I really recommend you to go if you have time, for sure.
Okay. I will take a look.
It's Safari.
Eat safari. Yeah. Yeah, I'm in a tough spot where like I'm Kenyan, but I live in Morocco and we're here for holiday. So we're here for August. And I'm deciding.
Yeah.
Stay, go.
It's
I'm
like
still deciding.
the digital nomad life of everyone in Web3.
Yeah.
Mi Mihaela, yeah, I think our journey is so funny.
Please share. Please.
I think I'm in my third Airbnb, maybe, of the year.
Since
Awesome.
how many time are you in this Airbnb?
Well, I think this one is for 3 months, and then we have to extend it for 6 months. You're
Okay.
never sleeping in your bed.
Yes.
Ah,
So
Atiba,
super. Ooh,
you
about to
come
lock
back.
up.
Yeah, sorry for that. I think I got lost there for a minute. Okay, any questions that have appeared before we move to the other projects? So this other project doesn't have a lot. So it's basically let's see my screen. So this is for connecting to a React mini app. For a mini app on Base, not sure if it's the same, but if at all they're using Reon, let me share my screen. Maybe it could be the same. But you see, it could be the same library, but because you should be having like your Farcaster and your manifest JSON, could be like a little bit different. So yeah. So I wanted to showcase to you. So this is. Hope you're seeing my screen. Yeah. Okay. Good. So this is the library for Reon. So if at all you want to go and check out Reon, so it has like it's not the same as Rainbow Kit, because here you have to have your ID, and it's not the same as Rainbow Kit, because with Rainbow Kit all you have to do is just take the component and the import. But for Reon, you have to, they also have their component, it's called AppKit, but you have to have a project ID for you to put it in your .env for you to be able to use the AppKit. Yeah. But for Rainbow, you just populate your component and it picks direct with npm install Rainbow Kit. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to this other project. I connect my wallet, MetaMask. So it's going to take for base. Okay, let's use Coinbase Wallet so that you see something else. So the difference with Base is they use Coinbase Wallet, and also sometimes you can use Smart Wallet. So I think it's different from other Ethereum like Lisk, where you can just add your RPC on your particular MetaMask. But it's more of the same. A wallet is a wallet. At the end of the day, it should have a public address, and you should have like some gas for you to be able to transact anything. Yeah. So also with this particular project, just hope you can see. Okay. So with this also project, it has a smart contract, and because it's supposed to help you with your invoice and your inventory, so you're supposed like to store your invoice and also your inventory, and that's why we have an invoice track, and we also have an inventory struct which stores them. For invoice, it stores the merchant, the customer, the amount, and the due date, just like any invoice, and if it's paid, and it's metadata which is now stored on IPFS. And then we have the inventory, which has the item ID, the quantity, the price, and the merchant that particular inventory has come from. So we are also implementing ERC20, and we also taking Open Zeppelin contracts to also ensure re-entrancy guard. So re-entrancy guard is used for security purposes to be able to ensure that your contract is secure. And yeah, as we move on, so if at all, if you have one invoice, it's mapped to invoices, the same as an inventory. It's used to map an inventory to an address. And if you want to create an invoice, you have an event for that, whereby that particular event has a variable of invoice ID, the merchant, the customer, and the amount, same as the event of having an invoice being paid. Just a minute, I plug my laptop. Yeah. Yes. Anybody is speaking? We are doing both reading and writing functions to the smart contract. Yeah, so reading is very easy. The most problem it enters is writing the function, because for you even to read, you have to write that particular function. Yeah. So these events, also have an event for updating the inventory with the same variables, with the merchant ID, quantity ID, and the price. And you can also create an invoice. So for this, this is a write function, whereby you have to create an invoice. You have to have now an input for the customer, who now has a variable of a public address. You also have to have an input on your side of front end. You have to have an input component for you to be able to access that input from the user. And then you also have to set a due date, and now you have the metadata here. Okay, so here you're just encoding the particular invoice ID for it to also be appearing on the metadata. Yeah, and this is how the data, when you're trying to look for that particular invoice, the particular keyword that you're going to use is invoice. Yeah. So let's check out if this particular create invoice is also happening on the front end. So yeah, sorry, components, dashboard, features. Uh, okay. Just a minute. Dashboard. Yeah. So we have the inventory agent and agents. Yeah. Okay. So as you can see here, we tried to populate like a JSON file for the inventory because we didn't have time to like do it with a database. So as you can see, this is just the front end because if here you see, if you press on the inventory agent, it's going to have like an AI agent whereby if you just try, yes, prepare a stock order for me, it will prepare a stock order for you using now AI chatbot, whereby it's going to do a black t-shirt, a logo, and a hoodie, and then it asking should it submit now to the supplier. Yeah. And then here you can see the particular stock items that you've populated here, and you can see if you can reorder, and you can also see the ones that have been sold and those and how in the trajectory of inventory, is it going upwards or downwards, or it's just tinkering there. Yes. Okay. So going back to our contract, you can also see in this the pay invoice, whereby you can invoice pay that invoice that has been generated, and you can see we have an invoice ID, which this was generated also here and encoded in the metadata. And also you can see we have a timestamp of that particular invoice, and we have the customer who's the one who was creating that invoice up here. Yeah, and then you can now update that particular contract. So for this, it's also a write function, and also for the update inventory, it's also a write function. Here on the get inventory, this is the read function, whereby you're just reading the inventory that has happened with the address of the merchant and the merchant ID, and then you are recalling that particular inventory that has been created up here using this this struct that has been stored in the IPFS, and then the return that now you are going to call on in your front end is you're going to call on the item ID and the merchant who was in that particular let's say inventory. Yeah, so I've omitted some things here. I'm trying to explain it to you so that at least you can get the gist of the contract, because this is going to be your assignment. You are meant to ensure that these particular functions they can be either read or written in your particular front end using this particular project. Yeah. Also, remember, if you can use scaffold list for this, or you can just go the scratch way, depending on how smooth you've understood every step. But I'd still advise you use scaffold list because it's very easy, because you can just copy all of these front end into the scaffold list, and also because you already have the contract, you can just copy the contract, and then after you've deployed, then you will see these functions either in the block scout list. Yes, and now you can start having those functions that we tried to do in the scaffold list, whereby here now you can start using the use scaffold contract write and contract read. Yeah, so here Yeah, you can just use. So if at all you have the function name, for example, for this particular contract whereby we have create invoice, what you will do, I'm just going to give you an example of that, and then I'll hope that you're going to work on it to populate it. So here is the function name, which is create invoice, and you just replace the function name with create invoice. Remember, if you deploy your particular contract base flow.co.col, you will have your particular name, which is going to be the base flow core, which is the name of your contract, and that's what you're going to input in any place that's going to ask for your contract name. For example, here under contract. Yeah, so you are writing to that particular contract with this contract name. So this is different from hard hat, whereby you just replace it with your contract address. But since it's scaffold list, it's going to be easy because you're just replacing the contract name. And then this is now the button for creating an invoice. So here, instead of set greeting, you're going to use um, create invoice, and then the arguments are that here on create your invoice, you're seeing that we have an argument of amount, and we also have an argument of a due date. That's where you replace your arguments here. You can just type them on their name, and then you have the value, and you can pass either a value in text form or in integer form. And then when this particular function of creating an invoice fails, then you have an error handle whereby you say error, the invoice has not been created. Are we together? Okay. So I'll also like write a few guides to this, and in case also we haven't been able to understand the reading and the writing functions, please let me know. We can maybe do a refresher, maybe Friday or over the weekend, and see how we can do it. Yeah. So any questions for me? You also open up the other one. I hope you have also checked your attendance. I'm still waiting for any questions. You can either ask me from this particular project or base, or even the local host that you're trying to do, the scaffold list that you're trying to do. So also remember to use your hooks quite well. And every time there is a function and there is an input, you have to use state for it, so that you can store that particular variable and be able to retrieve it from the data. Yeah. Please send the attendance again. I need to study the code and then. Yes. So also, I understand you have not thoroughly gone through React, and it might take some time for you to go through React. But for you, just for React for now, just giving you an understanding of the key things. It's ensuring that you can use the use state. So if you want to store anything, for example, in our invoice, I'll just write it here and then delete it. You can just have because you want to store the amount, or you want to retrieve the amount, you can just have set amount and set amount. And then since it's Sorry, that was supposed to be curly braces. And since you want it to be an integer, you just use state and this, and then you have 0 over there to mean that it's an integer. If it's a string, you can just input the quotes, or you can just have as here as string here before. Yeah, yeah. Or you can use these arrows to say string. Yeah. But the easy way is just to add curly braces over there. So then after that, then you can have now the functioning of that particular creating of invoice, whereby here you can now have the argument whereby you can do is created or is pending, and then is success when that particular creating of invoice is okay. And yeah, here now you can say you can now use now the use scaffold right, and then here now you can have the contract, which is the contract name, which there will be base flow, and then the function name, which will be invoice, create invoice, and then okay, then have arguments. And then since we are the argument that you do want to have on the invoice is amount, you do that, and then you can say on success, because we have the is success here. You can say the invoice has been created successfully, and yeah, you can fail to navigate to if, but if you want to navigate to another page, you can navigate, and you can say here return, and you say maybe the invoice ID. Yeah, so that's how you can use this. And then after that, here upwards you would have loaded your particular smart contract data, which will be data, and give it a name, for example invoices. Yeah, which also has the use scaffold read, and then you read from the contract, and then now here below in your div and your paragraphs or your cards that you're going to use, that's when now you reference using the curly braces either the invoice ID that has been returned, or the amount or any data that you read from that contract. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? Have we gotten something at least that we can use it for the assignment? Okay. And also remember, if you do any edits to your contract, remember to deploy, so that now you can be able to access the read and the write function. Otherwise, with that, maybe your front end won't work as you are expecting it to be. And it's also going to be a little bit steep because you're using Next.js, but worry not, it's not far away from React. Yeah. But if at all you did manage to build your last week project, this will be easy for you. You just need to include all the functions in up here and here, and be able to like call on the contract and the functions, and then have the particular returns, and now you call them here on your UI, which is the paragraph, the cards, or anything. Yeah. In case you have any questions, reach out to the group. Yes, yes. So we can go through the assignment again.
Assignment?
Okay. So the assignment has a smart contract,
Ah,
and
okay,
it
so
also.
there is an assignment then.
Sorry?
No, I didn't know there is an assignment. I mean, because it was not on the Google Classroom, I didn't have the visibility on it. All right.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to put it after this class. I'm just going to put it. I think I just wrote it on a Google document and I didn't put it. But I wanted at least they have an idea of both basic way of reading contract, and at least now they can be able now to integrate it with the front end and have error handlings in their code. Yes. So for both lecture 1 and lecture 2, you're going to do on one assignment, only one assignment. Okay. So the project is for you to first deploy this smart contract to the Lisk chain because it's on base. And if you look here in hard hat config, you will see it just attached the chain ID and the URL for base. So here you just need to switch to Lisk and then deploy it. And then after that, after you've deployed it, then you will have access to all the functions, which are not so many. I think they're just four, five. Yeah. And now read those functions and read and write functions that are in this particular smart contract. You integrate them in the different aspects of this UI. For example, on the inventory agent, you'll just need, like, for here, every time the chatbot runs, it creates an invoice. On the dashboard, you just read the amount of orders from the invoices, and here you can also see the revenue and the customers from the inventory. Yeah, so you don't need to fill anything as long as you've shown that everything, as long as you've shown that you've understood the essence of reading and writing. That will be good for the assignment, so that it helps you when you're going to either a hackathon or building your project to be able to move forward in scale. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. So let me show you something. Just connect wallet here. Okay. Okay. Let me show you something here. So here on the packages, as you can see, when you're trying to purchase a package, you are trying to mint that particular package. So minting and buying is more of the same. So when you're saying you're minting something, it's like you're buying something. Even on product, minting means buying. It's only just the essence of terminologies shifting. The only thing that you should be careful about is transferring of ownership, yeah, or transferring of tokens. Okay. Anything else? Okay, okay. And you can also check out on both of, or even on this project that I have for block up. Sorry. Yeah, you can check out on the contract and see how we've tried to mint and mint into that particular address, and the owner and any owner who tries, like, to connect to that wallet. So this is one of the functions of trying to mint. Yeah.
All right. Just to let you know, so I have to jump in 2 minutes. And so
Mhm.
just to close,
Yeah, we just
wrap up the
yeah.
session properly. So thank you for your sessions. So I think it was insightful for everyone. Our recording will be available on YouTube and also on Google Classroom anyway. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning, so the graduation ceremony will be during the community call next week. So voilà, voilà. All good, I think so. Feel free to say something in case of. Looks great. Okay. So let's say see you tomorrow if you are coming um to the session with the Basecamp fellow, the people already in the Basecamp. If you want to say something, if you want to help them, etc., because it's gonna be like an open session, or otherwise see you next week and yeah, for Uniswap and also community call. Have to jump. To choose. Bye bye.